Right now, in your next English sentence about time, you are about to choose between two words, for or since. And the honest truth is that most English learners just guess. They pick one, hope it sounds right, and move on. And that guess is wrong more than half the time. Today, that guessing ends permanently.
Sarah, this is exactly me. Every time I use the present perfect tense, I have been learning English for, or I have been learning English since, I stop. I pause. I think, which one? And I still don't really know why I pick the one I pick.
That pause you just described is felt by millions of English learners every single day. And the reason is simple. Nobody has ever given you the one clear question that makes the choice automatic. We are going to give you that question today. But first, you need to understand what these two words actually mean. Because once you understand the meaning, the question makes complete sense.
Here is the promise for today. By the end of this conversation, you will have one simple test, one question you ask yourself that tells you instantly whether to use for or since. No guessing, no pausing, just knowing.
And here is your first challenge before we start. Write in the comments below, which one do you use more, for or since? And write a sentence using whichever one you chose. We want to see your starting point. We read every single comment and we love hearing from you.
And if you are new here, welcome to Talk Sarah Daily. We upload a brand new English lesson every single day. Please subscribe so you never miss one. It is free and it will genuinely change the speed of your English progress.
All right, for versus since. The confusion that breaks perfect sentences. Let's fix it right now. Let's start with for, because for is actually the more common of the two, and once you understand what it really means, everything else becomes easier.
So what does for actually mean when we use it with time?
For tells you the length of time, the duration, how long something has been happening. It measures a period, a stretch of from start to now or from start to finish. For answers the question, how long time?
So if someone asks, how long have you been learning English? I answer with for?
Yes, I have been learning English for 2 years. 2 years is the length of time, the duration. For gives us that measurement.
I have lived here for 6 months.
Perfect. 6 months is the period. For shows the measurement of that period.
She has been working at that company for a long time.
Beautiful and very natural. A long time is still a duration, even if it is vague. For works with any measurement of time.
What kinds of time words go with for?
For goes with any word that measures a quantity of time. Listen to these. For 2 hours, for 3 days, for 6 weeks, for 4 months, for 5 years, for a century, for a long time, for a short while, for ages, for decades.
So for works with numbers for 2 hours, and also with general time expressions for ages for a long time.
Exactly. Both types work perfectly with for. If you can answer the question, how long, you use for.
Let me try the how long test. I have known him for... How long have I known him? For 10 years. That works.
Perfect. The how long question has a clear answer, 10 years. For is correct.
I waited for 20 minutes.
Natural and correct. 20 minutes is the duration. How long did you wait? 20 minutes. For.
They haven't spoken for over a year.
Excellent. Over a year is the length of silence. How long have they not spoken? Over a year. For. Now, here is something important. For is not only used with the present perfect tense. For appears with many tenses.
Really? Like what?
I studied for 3 hours. Simple past. I will be away for 2 weeks. Future. She was in hospital for a month. Past. I'm going to rest for a little while. Present. In all of these, for measures a duration of time. No matter what tense, if you are measuring how long, for is the word.
So the how long test works across every tense, not just present perfect.
Exactly. For is about duration, period of time. How long something lasted or has lasted, that is for in any tense.
Quick challenge for everyone listening. Think of something you have been doing regularly. Learning English, cooking, working, reading. How long have you been doing it? Write your answer in the comments using for. I have been for. We want to see your sentences.
Now, here is where the confusion begins, because since also appears in the same types of sentences. You can say for 2 years, or you can say since 2022. Both sound similar, both are about time, but they are saying completely different things. And that difference is what we are about to explain. Understanding it will change how you speak English forever.
The suspense is real. Let's go to since.
Since tells you the starting point, the moment when something began. Not how long, but when it started. Since answers the question, when did it start?
So if for answers how long, since answers when?
Exactly. Think of it this way. For measures the road. Since marks where the road began.
Oh, that is a really clear image. For is the length of the road, since is the starting point on the map.
And because since marks a starting point, it always needs a specific moment or event as its reference. Since needs something to point to.
Like, I have been learning English since 2020. 2020 is the specific point when it started.
Perfect. 2020 is a year, a specific moment in time. Since points to it. The learning started there and continues to now.
She has lived here since January.
Great! January is the starting point. Since marks it.
I haven't eaten since this morning.
Beautiful and very natural. This morning is the starting point when eating stopped. Since marks when that happened.
What kinds of words go with since?
Since goes with specific points in time. Listen. Since 2015. Since last Monday. Since Tuesday morning. Since January. Since Christmas. Since I was a child. Since we met. Since he left. Since the accident.
I notice since can work with a year, a month, a day, a time of day, and also with a whole clause. Since I was a child, since we met.
Yes, that is an important point. Since can be followed by a noun, since 2020, or by a clause with a subject and verb, since I started this job. Both are completely correct, and both are very common in spoken English.
So the test for since is, can I point to a specific moment when something started? If yes, since.
Exactly. Since needs a reference point, something you can name or describe. The year, the month, the day, the event, the moment.
Let me try the test.
I have been tired since... When did the tiredness start? Since this morning. Since yesterday. Since the meeting. All of those are specific starting points. Since works perfectly.
And now let me show you the most important thing. The comparison that makes everything click instantly.
Yes, please.
Same meaning, 2 ways to say it. Listen carefully. I have been learning English for 2 years. Or, I have been learning English since 2023. These 2 sentences say the same thing about the world, but one uses for and measures the length, 2 years. The other uses since and marks the starting point, 2023.
Oh, wow. The situation is identical, but for gives the length and since gives the moment it began. They are 2 different ways of describing the same continuous experience.
And native speakers choose between them based on what information they want to div. Do you want to say how long? Use for. Do you want to say when it started? Use since.
If I want to sound more precise, I give the starting year, since 2023. if I want to give a general duration, for 2 years.
Exactly. Both are natural, both are correct. You choose based on the information you have and the information you want to share.
Comment challenge time. Write one sentence using since with a specific point in time. Tell us when something important in your life started. I have been since. Give us the moment. We love reading your life stories in the comments.
Now that we have for and since clear on their own, let's put them side by side in real situations. This is where everything you learned becomes automatic and permanent.
The best way to make for and since automatic is to see them working side by side in the same real-life situations, because that is how you will use them in real conversations, not in isolation, but together.
Let's start with a classic situation, a job interview. The interviewer asks, "How long have you worked here?"
Perfect. How long is the question? So the answer uses for. I have worked here for 3 years. 3 years is the duration. For measures it.
But what if the interviewer asks, "When did you start working here?"
When is the question? So the answer uses since. I have worked here since March 2022. March 2022 is the starting point. Since marks it.
Same job, same situation, same continuous experience. Different question, different word.
And in real conversation, you might give both naturally. I have been working here for 3 years, since March 2022. For gives the length, since gives the starting point. Both pieces of information in one sentence.
Can you use for and since in the same sentence?
Yes, and it sounds very natural when you do. I have been studying English for a year, since I moved to this city. The for gives how long. The since explains when it started.
Let's try a personal situation. Someone asks, "How long have you had that phone?"
I've had it for about 2 years. How long? Duration. For.
Or, "I've had it since my birthday last year." When did it start? Starting point. Since.
Both completely correct. You choose based on what you know and what you want to say.
Health situation. The doctor asks, "How long have you had this pain?"
I've had it for about a week. How long? For.
Or, "I've had it since last Monday." When? Since.
And the doctor might ask both in the same conversation. Since when? And for how long? Since and for are the natural answers.
Relationships. How long have you two been together?
We've been together for 4 years. How long? For.
Or, "We've been together since university." When it started? Since.
Both feel warm and natural in conversation. Now, here is a very important rule that most learners do not know. Since is almost always used with the present perfect tense. Not past simple, not future. Present perfect.
Why?
Because since describes something that started in the past and continues to now, which is exactly what the present perfect does. Since and present perfect are partners. I have lived here since 2019. She has been sick since Tuesday. We have known each other since childhood.
But for can go with any tense?
Correct. For is flexible across tenses, but since almost always appears with present perfect, have or has plus past participle, because it always describes something reaching from a past point into the present moment.
That is a rule worth writing down. For, any tense. Since, almost always present perfect.
And here is the one question that ties everything together. Before you write for or since, ask yourself this. Am I giving a duration, a length of time? Then for. Am I giving a starting point, a specific moment? Then since.
How long? For. When did it start? Since. That is the whole lesson in 2 lines. Write that in your notes right now. Screenshot it. Keep it forever.
Let's talk about the real mistakes. The ones that happen even when people think they understand for and since.
What is mistake number 1?
Using since with a duration, a length of time. For example, I have been waiting since 2 hours. This is wrong. 2 hours is a length of time, a duration, not a starting point. You cannot point to 2 hours on a clock as a moment when something began. The correct sentence is, I have been waiting for 2 hours.
Since needs a specific point in time. 2 hours is not a point, it is a length.
Exactly. I have been here since an hour. Wrong. I have been here for an hour. Correct. The test is simple. Is this a duration or a moment? Duration, for. Moment, since.
Mistake number 2.
Using for when you want to give a specific starting point. I have lived here for 2019. 2019 is a year, a specific moment in history, not a length of time. You cannot measure 2019 as a duration. The correct sentence is, I have lived here since 2019.
For 2019 sounds completely wrong to a native ear because you cannot put for in front of a specific year.
Right. If the word after your blank is a year, a month, a day, or any specific named moment, since is almost certainly the correct choice.
Mistake number 3.
Using since with the wrong tense. I know him since 2018. This is extremely common, especially for speakers whose native language handles this differently. The correct sentence is, I have known him since 2018. Since needs the present perfect, have or has, plus the past participle.
The present perfect is what connects the past starting point to now. Without it, the sentence is broken.
Yes. She works here since January. Wrong. She has worked here since January. Correct. Since needs present perfect. Always.
Mistake number 4.
Forgetting that for works with both present perfect and simple past, but treating them as the same. I studied for 3 hours. Simple past. The studying is finished. I have been studying for 3 hours. Present perfect. The studying is still happening now. Both use for correctly, but the tense changes the meaning completely.
For 3 hours in simple past means it is over. For 3 hours in present perfect means it is still going on.
The word for stays the same, but the tense around it tells the whole story.
You are not making mistakes because you were bad at English. You are making them because these distinctions are genuinely subtle. And now you know them. That is huge progress. Write in the comments, which of these 4 mistakes did you recognize in your own English? Honesty helps everyone learn.
Practice time. I will give you a sentence with a blank. You fill it with for or since. Say your answer before we confirm it. Ready?
Ready.
Blank 1. I haven't seen my family blank 3 months.
4. 3 months is a duration, a length of time. How long? 3 months. 4.
Correct. I haven't seen my family for 3 months.
Blank 2. She has been vegetarian, blank, she was 16.
Since. Since she was 16, that is a specific moment in the past when something started. When did it start? When she was 16. Since.
Blank 3. We have been waiting, blank, 2 o'clock.
Since. 2 o'clock is a specific point in time, a moment on the clock. The waiting started at that moment. Since 2 o'clock.
Blank 4. He slept, blank, 10 hours last night.
4. 10 hours is a duration, a measurement of how long. And notice, slept is simple past here. The sleeping is finished. He slept for 10 hours. 4 works with any tense.
Blank 5. I have been feeling better, blank, I started exercising.
Since. Since I started exercising is a clause that describes a specific starting moment, the moment when you began exercising. That is the point where feeling better began. Since.
Blank 6. The hard one. She has worked here blank 10 years. Blank, she graduated from university.
4. Since. She has worked here for 10 years, since she graduated from university. 4 gives the duration. Since gives the starting point. Both describe the same continuous situation. Both correct, both natural.
If you got all 6 right, write 6 out of 6 Master of Time in the comments. If you got 5, still excellent. If you missed some, write which one and why. We learn best when we are honest about where we slipped.
Now make your own sentence. Something about your life, something you have been doing or experiencing. Use both for and since in the same sentence. Share it below. We want to see you do it.
1 sentence, 2 words, your story. Let's see it.
That was for versus since. And by now, these 2 words should feel genuinely different to you. Not just rules you memorized, but real meanings you understand.
Let's do our final summary. One more time, because repetition is how language becomes automatic.
For measures a duration, a length of time, the road itself. For answers how long, for 2 years, for 6 months, for a long time, for ages. For goes with numbers, quantities, and expressions that measure time. For can appear with any tense. Since marks a starting point, the moment when something began, the place on the map where the road starts. Since answers, when did it start? Since 2019. Since last Monday. Since I moved here. Since the beginning. Since goes with specific named moments, years, months, days, and clauses. Since almost always appears with the present perfect tense. And the one question that makes the choice automatic every single time, ask yourself this. Am I saying how long something has lasted? Use for. Am I saying when something started? Use since. How long? For. When did it start? Since. That is the whole rule. Write it, screenshot it, put it somewhere you see it every day until it becomes part of how you think.
Here is your final reflective question. Think of something you are still doing, that you have been doing for a while. Learning English, living in your city, working at your job, being friends with someone. Now, write 2 sentences, one with for, one with since. Same situation. 2 descriptions. Drop them both below.
If this episode helped your English become even a little clearer, please like this video. Share it with one person who you know always pauses on for and since. They will thank you for it.
Subscribe to Talk Sarah Daily, a brand new English lesson every single day. We are here. We are not going anywhere. And we are proud of every step you take.
You are getting better. We can see it. See you next time.